Hey everybody, I have another video here for you today, and the one I made a little earlier, my interview with Cali, I will leave the link in the description, but I try to be thorough on my channel, and I don't do many news report videos, but once in a while one catches me at the right time, and I can relate it to other things I have talked about on my channel. But we're going down to an area of Italy here today. This site right here is called Arene Candide. That'll be my attempt to pronounce this site, but you just gotta wonder, the dating here and living right along the sea, and are they just going up as sea levels rose? Well, that is the first thing I thought about. Now, before we get to the story that came out yesterday, here is a story, Age Necropolis, and this came out in September of 2018. Here's a pic from the 1940s of this site. People living in caves here 12,000 years ago, and even back in time. It says Arene Candide has 10 primary Paleolithic burials, 2 of which are double burials, and 7 clusters of bones totaling at least 20 individuals. And it says there is a single burial, some 10,000 years older at the site, nicknamed the Young Prince. It says piecing together the story of the site has not been easy, but it goes over work at this site that was done recently and also some 60 years ago. It says you always wish earlier excavations had done more, taken more notes and more photographs, but it is humbling to see how much good work they did, especially when you go back to the field and realize that you are responsible for documenting your generation's excavations. It says the upper, most recent levels of the site were first excavated in the 1880s and were found to contain several Neolithic burials dating to 5,000 to 4,300 BC. And then in the 1940s, archaeologists dug here and they found Paleolithic individuals dating to more than 12,000 years ago. But it said this was a place of ritualistic burial for over 500 years and 20 generations. And that's a pretty long time. What really caught my eye here, it says Sparacello's research suggests that some of the Arene Candide's burials were intentionally moved from their original context. This happened in 2 distinct phases, separated by only a few centuries. One window is from 10,820 BC to 10,420 BC, and the other window is from 10,030 BC to 9180 BC. But Randall Carlson and Graham Hancock have gone over these 2 time periods, one around 10,800 BC and the other around 9,600 BC, and those 2 dates both fit within these 2 dating windows they give, when people were taken out of their original burials and reburied. Now, why would you do that? This happens at 2 separate periods, and both we know things really bad were happening on the earth. I find that very interesting. Now, I didn't find too much on YouTube on this site, but there is a few videos of work going on here. Looks like a pretty intense cave just to take your family through or a group of people through. But I will leave the link to this video here below. Here is an old black and white photo I found, and here are some cave entrances you can see right here. Now here's the story that just came out yesterday, and I will leave the link below. It says a team of researchers led by Marco Romano of the University of Witterwasser. Why do they give me such impossible words to pronounce in my videos? But oh well. Use laser scans, sediment analysis and geochemistry, archaeoabitonomy, and 3D modeling to analyze 180 footprints discovered in northern Italy's Grotta della Basura in the 1950s. According to Live Science Report, the evidence suggests that some 14,000 years ago, a group of 2 adults, 1 preteen and 2 children aged 6 and 3, entered the cave barefoot while carrying bundles of burning pine sticks to light their way through. As they traveled through the cave, they crouched and crawled when the ceiling was too low to walk upright. At times they moved single file, with the youngest bringing up the rear. They walked very close to the side of the wall of the cave, a safer approach also used by other animals when moving in poorly lit, unknown environments. The group eventually reached the cave's final room, where Roman said the children smeared clay from the cave floor on stalagmite at different levels according to their height. The charcoal on the walls is thought to have been left by their torches, and it gives a further link to the video I just talked about. But here is that story, and I will leave the link below. But I find some of these footprints kind of interesting. Why was a family going to the back of this cave? Well, a period that we know in history was pretty cataclysmic, and maybe they were just doing everything they could to save their lives, who knows? But I found this pretty interesting. I've done more than a few videos on this time period in my Ancient America series and on other places around the world. Seems people were heading into caves and maybe underground cities at this time period between 14,000 years ago and 11,500 years ago. There was stuff going down that I don't think we can even imagine. Well, this is certainly an area of the world that I have not talked about too much, but I find this interesting, and I've talked about other Ice Age cemeteries that we are stumbling upon in this current era research. And new findings is kind of rewriting the whole storybook here. But if you notice here, there is some fairly interesting underwater structures right off this coast, but what do we know about this time period? Something really bad is happening. Do we have evidence of what the people were doing? Well, maybe in this cave here, they were reburying their dead at 2 periods of time that matches time periods we know that something really bad is happening. But sometimes I spend a lot of time putting together videos. Sometimes they are just quickies. This was certainly a quickie, but I thought all this information was pretty interesting. Worth a video. Hope you thought that was cool. If you have anything to add, or if you know anybody else who has talked about or done research here, please leave links. Hope you thought that was cool, and you all have a very nice day.